retro content. I've been specifically wanted to focus more on retro content when it comes to my channel. And I moved to the States. I've said it a few times now. And before I moved, I got my original NES to work again. I feel I should start saying NES now, even though I hate that. We're in the States, we roll with it. But I got my original NES to work again, and it's my favorite system to collect for. This is gonna be NES. This whole shelf is gonna have my NES collection. I have this room now, but the space is still limited compared to a full game room. I've always wanted my NES collection out there, and that's what we're gonna do now. I love NES, and since I got to the States, there's more places I've been able to go to. I've been able to buy more games, visit some markets. There's more stuff in the States than in Europe, I feel, when it comes to flea markets, retro expos, stuff like that, vintage sales, everything. And so in the past month since I've been here now, I actually had some pickups. And that's what we're going to talk about now. My pickups for the NES of the last month. So I actually bought 10 new NES games. You know what's fun about this? Is that in America, retro games is that cheaper games, you find different cheaper games than you do in Europe. So it's a whole new playing field for me. And I'm excited. And I picked up a bunch of stuff. Nothing too crazy, but not like weird, like unknown games. Some of these are like pretty good games, really. So one of the first things I picked up was actually in Salem. We went to Salem with my dad in the beginning of the month, and they have a retro store there, and they have a really good retro selection, I feel. But I've tried to focus my collecting more on specifically the NES, because that's like my favorite thing to collect for. That's where my nostalgia comes from. And the game I picked up there was Adventures of Dino Ricky. This is a game I've been wanting for quite a while. Used to hear about it. It's like an old school Hudson Soft game. And man, just look at that cover. It's just absolutely amazing. Absolutely love that cover. And this, if I remember the prices, I'll let you know. I feel I paid $10 for Adventures of Dino Ricky. In general, if I buy retro games, if it's eBay prices, I'm not picking it up. I want to be below eBay prices, because else what's the point, So I picked up Adventures of Dino Ricky in Salem. Very excited to play this. The next games I picked up were from an antique market. I really love this antique market. And we walked around, looking around, and they had all kinds of stuff from like retro Star Wars to like crazy old figurines. And they had a few games there. A handful of NES games, nothing crazy, but they had 2 games I picked up. One of them is just the Wheel of Fortune. This is one of those games that that is like retro American NES games that are cheap, that you just don't find in Europe. So the Wheel of Fortune, and it actually came with a booklet in really good condition. So I was actually excited to pick that one up. And the other one was Mystery Quest from, what is it, Texan, I think? Mystery Quest. I had no idea what this game was like, but I saw this image and I'm like, yes, I need to pick this up. I think I maybe paid like $14 for both of these together. I don't remember exactly, but they were quite cheap. After that, we went to a vintage clothing market. It was supposed to be a vintage market with all kinds of stuff. This was absolute garbage. They had 90% expensive clothing, but one guy had some video games, so I checked it out and I picked up 2 games from his thing. One of them was Infiltrator. It's kind of a classic. It was like $7, Infiltrator. And there's nothing like, I like to collect everything from the NES. But in the beginning, you're going to start going for the more interesting games. So we have Infiltrator. And the other one is, I've always wanted a Sesame Street game, okay? For the NES. You always hear about it, like You had AVGen talk about it. All these kinds of people used to talk about it. You would see it all the time. And I was like, this is so weird. Because I don't know if they were even released in Europe, but I had never owned a Sesame Street game. So they had one over there. Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. And Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 was $10, I think. It was only $10. And it also came with the booklet. So Sesame 1, 2, 3 has like, what is it? Astro Grover, it's like a math game, and Ernie's Magic Sharpies, which is like a coloring thing. And I'm assuming, yeah, it's 2 games in one. And like, that's what I mean, man. I just would like collecting for the NES, and finally having a Sesame Street game, I feel like should be part of the collection. And that's the kind of stuff, like I said, that you just find more in America than you would in Europe. And that's like no money for me, I feel like. $10 with the booklet included. That's really nice. And the last haul is kind of a bigger haul. There was an indoor flea market that we went to. And unlike the vintage one, the indoor flea market was amazing. There was so much to see there. It was huge. We didn't even have enough time really to like take your time. We saw the whole thing, but I could have spent hours, days in that place. That flea market had so much stuff, and it had so many retro games. Now, you have to know what to look for. Even there, you had people trying to sell an original Mario for $20. It's not worth that, okay? Come on, $20, then I know what kind of seller you are if I see you sell Mario for $20. But I all this one as a one seller, and I got a deal for it. I got 5 games in the end for $40. But some of them are like worth 20 plus already by itself. I gained like 15. So he gave me a discount in total for buying all these games. Like I got 15 off, but they're definitely worth more than what I paid for it. There's a bunch of different games here. Considering we talked about Sesame Street, I'll get this one out of the way first. It's Big Bird's Hide and Speak. There's a specific reason I bought this one. Not because it's a Sesame Street one, because I already have Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. But Big Bird's like Hide and Speak. I bought this for one specific reason. There's a video I've been wanting to make for a really long time about the NES and specific games it has. And this is going to be part of that. I'll look forward to making that video a lot. So there's definitely like more NES content coming, but that's the main thing I love. That's the main thing I want my channel to kind of be. Another one I picked up is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Heroes of the Lands. And I wanted this for 2 reasons. One, I don't specifically know what the gameplay is of it, but I know it looks amazing. Like art-wise, it really looks amazing. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I just absolutely love that artwork on the front. It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It has like the gold in the bag. But yeah, I picked this up specifically. And this was, I think, the most expensive one. This one, he had it at like 25 or 30, I think. Just this game alone. That tells you already the deal I kind of made out of it. Like $40 for all these games. So we have that one. The next one, I knew of the game. I never played it before. But I thought this was a steal. This is a Square game. This is Knight's Knight. Wait, is there more to it? I think it's just Knight's Knight. Oh, I know I say Knight. King's Knight. Sorry. So we have King's Knight from Square. When you look at that art, that is just old school Square. Like that art is absolutely amazing. So I just love that art. It looks in meticulous condition. It's like absolutely like perfect. The only one that's slightly damaged is the Heroes of the Lands, the label at the top. I need to fix that. But so yeah, so we have King's Knight from Square. And then we have one that I just bought because I had no idea what it's like. I never looked it up. I used to do that sometimes with CDs. And I used to do that with games. So I did that with this one. I picked it up based on nothing. I just looked at the art and it came with a booklet. This is Rockin' Ball. Again, I have no idea what the gameplay is going to be like. I just liked the cover. It wasn't too expensive. And again, it came with the booklet. And I like it when, I don't necessarily need the boxes for my NES games. I'm gonna have them displayed over there I like having them displayed that you can see them, but I like having the booklet. So whenever there's a chance to get a booklet and it's cheap, I always go for it. So that's the only reason I bought it. I still don't know what it looks like. I didn't look it up. Once my stuff gets here from the move, I'm gonna just plug it in and see what the game is gonna be like. And this game is a game I've been wanting for a really long time, but it used to be really expensive, and this guy now had it for 15. So basically, this game and Dungeons and Dragons alone was already the 40 bucks. This one was 15. It's a game I've been wanting for a really long time. It's an absolute classic. It also came with the booklet, and that's Mickey Mousecapade. This is a Capcom classic. You know, with old school NES, Capcom, those games were always guaranteed incredible. They were just refined when it comes to gameplay, to the responsiveness of all the sprites. The game himself always looked colorful and like detailed. So any original old school Capcom is always something you should pick up if you collect for the NES. And like I said, Mickey Mousecapade is one that has been on my list for a really long time. And it just used to be like really expensive. This guy had it for like 15. I think the going price now kind of is around 20 bucks. But again, this one came with the booklet and actually one of those old school, I have a few of these, those old school hardcover things. I like to put my rare games in these to protect them. But this one came in that box with the booklet. So I was very, very excited to finally have this game, and I'm excited to actually play it. Capcom games, again, are just always guaranteed great games, I feel. So yeah, that was it. These were the 5 games for the market. So let's go over again, like everything that I got. Mickey Mousecapade. You've got Rock and Ball, King's Knight, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Heroes of the Lands, and Big Bird's Hide and Speak. That was from the indoor flea market. Then the cheap vintage market, we had Infiltrator and Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. Then we had from the incredible antique market, we had Mystery Quest and Wheel of Fortune. And finally in Salem, I picked up Adventures of Dino Ricky. A bunch of really good, honestly, these are all really good games. I mean, I don't know about Rock and Ball yet, but these are like great games, and I feel like they didn't even spend too much of a budget on them. So yeah, I'm just excited. America, it's a new playground for my retro collecting, specifically the NES. I'm excited to finally get this corner set up, so in the next few videos it might evolve. I mean, it's gonna be a couple months before my stuff gets here, before it looks really cool, but I'm excited for the transformation. I hope you guys love this video. Some retro content, finally. I'm gonna get more retro content, retro gameplay. I've had a few picks up actually, like recently in the last few months, and I'm just excited to finally be able to like play the NES again and collect for the NES again. And I want to get my channel back into that retro vibe. I mean, a legend of retro. It stands for something.